we are going to tell together.
Tell what together?
Yeah, that we are live.
Oh, here we go. It's
Hello.
coming up.
Yeah.
Not
Hello,
yet.
everyone. We are
We're gonna
live.
share this now. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a real red light or something to show us when we were there.
Okay.
Okay, Priya, it's coming your way now. Oh, wow. Okay. We should be live. We want to just check the Wellness Women group.
Yeah, I'm checking in I'm doing it in mobile. Yeah, we are.
We are. And then I'm just going to share this. Okay, Swapna, you could take it away.
Hello, everyone. We are live in the group Wellness Women. I'm your holistic wellness coach, Swapna Medidi. Over to Dan.
It's Dawn's turn. You said over to
Oh,
Dawn.
okay. Sorry. I was still doing my technical stuff
Yeah,
over
it's
here. I
your
got to
turn.
switch my hat real quick.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. It's Dawn from Angels in the House Party. Coming to you today for our next meet and greet. And we've got a guest here with us today. We're so excited.
She is.
So, yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go
Priya.
ahead and let Swapna introduce and then we'll get rolling. So thanks for coming. Stick around to the end. We have a special little treat for you.
We have a special guest today. It's holistic wellness coach, Priya Tejra, and her niche is gut health. So she's here today to empower you all by sharing her own genuine story, which is the healing journey and a transformation story as a holistic wellness coach. So Priya, please go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Big hello to all the viewers from Dawn's group and from Swapna's group. I am very excited to be a part of this live, and I can't wait to share my story of transformation. And please stick around. I also want to share an action step that you can take at the end. It's a very important tip that I'm going to be sharing after my story. So yes, I'm very thankful to Swapna and Dawn for inviting me here. I'm a functional health and wellness coach and also a certified holistic wellness coach from IAWP. And me and Swapna got introduced through IAWP, so I'm thankful to her. So as far as my story goes, I have always, I've always had health issues pretty much, from the very beginning, growing up when I was growing up in India, I had a lot of health challenges, health issues, hormonal issues growing up, period-related problems, especially hormonal issues during my teens, and to the point that at one point my hemoglobin was down to 4, and I had no idea that it was down to that level, because I was like, because maybe I was just losing too much blood due to my period, and I was experiencing severe weakness, and the doctors, even it's like, whether it's here or in India, like, the doctors are not, I guess they're not trained to talk about nutrition and food.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not given a very sound advice back then. And I was just given medicines. And I was like, okay, I'll take this medicine and the periods are going to stop. Okay, it's been 2-3 months. They're not coming. Let me go to the doctor. She'll give me some medicine and they're going to come back on. And so that was my, life pretty much you know, during studies, during school, college, and just growing up, adjusting to these, you know, health setbacks. And just wasn't like, I wasn't living an active, fulfilling life. Like I would have loved to be more active back then, but I wasn't. Um, and again, you know, after that, I got married, and the issues persisted. And but after coming here to the United States, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. With that was another setback. I was like, really, how many health challenges am I going to suffer in my life? Like this is, I don't like being sick. I don't like being, you know, unhealthy. So so that was that. And I was like, and I was told by the doctor, well, here is this pill, you're going to have to take it for the rest of your life. And I'm like, I don't like taking pills for anything. You know, at that point, you know, my mom started going into, you know, being very fit and into her health journey in her 50s. And she was like, she would wake up in the morning and do her yoga and all of that stuff. And, you know, into very much healthy diet and all of that thing. And I was impressed by my mom's transformation and, you know, her life, that the turn that her life was taking. And I was like, I want to be like my mom. I want to not rely on the medicines and have this kind of holistic lifestyle. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to take this pill. What is it that I can do for myself, by myself, to you know, come out of this? If is there a way I can come out of hypothyroidism? Is it even possible? So I did my research, and back then I was not enrolled into the you know, the coaching program. And also, you know, there were some personal I was living with my in-laws, so there was that tension, you know.
That'll get your stomach.
Yeah. And I was like, I would work with my mother-in-law in the kitchen, and I would get tired because of my hypothyroidism issue. And she would be like, oh, she's just making excuses. You know, those kind of stressors, those kind of environmental stressors and, you know, life stressors were adding on to all of that. And it was just not a very good time. That's when I was like, you know what, I want to take this under control. I want to do something to help myself. I started researching, and I started to change my diet, but that didn't help much because I was still living with my in-laws, and the mental stresses were still there, as you can probably imagine. So because of those stressors still in place, I was not able to completely, you know, feel the way I wanted to feel. And eventually, after, you know, a couple of years, we moved out separately. And then I was like, you know what, now I can do what I want to do for myself in my time. And I started to really, really make big changes into the lifestyle. I really like made monumental changes because now I was on my own. I could do things on my own schedule. And with, you know, big lifestyle changes and diet changes, exercising, taking care of your mental health, everything goes. And 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 then the next time I went to the doctor and we checked my, you know, thyroid results, the doctor was like, "Oh, you're doing good." I went again for 3 months, and it was like, you don't need the medicine, because I also changed doctor at that point. I went to a more like a holistic doctor. Not like, he was still an internal medicine doctor, but he had more holistic approaches. So it was like, you know what, Priya, you're doing good. Whatever you're doing on your end, continue that. And you don't have to take the medication. And I was like, what? Is that even possible? I'm like, and I was really happy. I was surprised. And I was, you know, thankful that, okay, so I don't have to take this medication. And we didn't, he said, we'll just monitor your results, come back in another 3 or 6 months, and we'll check you again. And you know what, since then I've been doing that. I'm not taking any medications, just following the, you know, the lifestyle changes, the diet that that I have been following since the last, let's say, 4 or 5 years now, and that has been that has been helping me. And the feeling of lethargy, the feeling of
Mhm.
you know, that joy not being there, that's not there anymore. Like, and after joining the coaching program, I realized, you know what, this is my purpose. So after, you know, all of this adding together really, it gave me my purpose, it gave me joy. And now I have that steady energy that we all want throughout the day, and I can see that, you know, that persists now. I don't feel like sleepy in the afternoon or groggy, like that midday groggy feeling that people get. And I during this time, my sister, who is, you know, back in India, she had her own issues because of her poor lifestyle and, you know, diet choices.
Mhm.
She wasn't able to conceive, and she told me, you know what, this is the thing, I really would like to conceive. And I used to be on the phone with her for like every other day for about an hour or 2 hours, telling her exactly what to do, exactly how to work out, what to eat, because she would eat at her work in the afternoon. I was like, you're eating at your work cafeteria, make sure to find out these options that you can incorporate in your diet and all of that. And 6 months after that, she was able to conceive, and now she has a little boy who is now 2.5 years old. And it just gives me so much joy looking at that little baby.
Mhm.
I'm like, because I have my son, and I'm like, oh, you know, these two are like my babies.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and I've helped a couple of other people during this, and I've seen their transformation, them like coming out of their autoimmune disorders, and other health, you know,
Mhm.
challenges. And after the program, after graduating from my coaching program, I've worked with several clients now, and noticed that different clients have different challenges. Even if they have a similar illness,
Mhm.
their my way of approaching their problem is different, because they are different people, their mindset is different, their lifestyle is different, the life that they have gone through in the past is different.
Mhm.
And so how you approach every person is different, and it's only interesting because along the way I'm learning so much,
Mhm.
and it's rewarding to see how their, you know, their life is changing, and they're getting so much of their energy and alertness back. So it's just been such a rewarding journey. I'm so happy to have found my purpose, having coming from an IT background. And to be honest, I was just not, I had that tug inside me, that pull, that, you know what, it's not rewarding, this is not something I've come here to do, you know, that inner voice. It was just that pull was so strong that when I, you know, bumped into this coaching program, I was like, this is what I want. And it even strengthened over time when I saw transformation for my family members and from other, you know, friends I helped. So yeah, that's my story until now.
So we have some questions based on
Sure.
your story, so that viewers, they can understand, and if anyone is looking forward to work with you, then they will approach you. So it's like, I want to know what in what way you are empowering the client at the mindset level uh, to come forward and sign up or take that first step, because I know it's very difficult, really.
Sure. Yes, some people have big mental blocks for sure. And you know what? I totally relate to that because I had those. And I tell them that my approach is going to be a very gentle approach, and we're going to go one step at a time. And again, you know, to be honest, there's no specific answer to this because every person is different. If I suggest, if I feel that they have mental blocks, uh, if their mental block is bigger than their health challenges, I approach a client in that manner first to try to understand what they're going through, what their life circumstances are right now. And
Mhm.
what is one small thing that they can do? One small, very tiny step, nothing big, nothing like, oh, I'm going to suggest start with this big diet change or start with this lifestyle, big life. No, I want to start with a very minute change that they can do. I ask them, what is it? What is one small thing that you can do from your end? And then other people are different. They don't have such big mental blocks. They just want to solve their health problems. They want to know the right ways, in terms of like, what are the right foods, what's the right exercise for them, what's the basically lifestyle changes that they can make towards their health issues specifically. So everyone is different, and my approach towards everyone is different. It's no one person is the same, and it's exciting because I learn so much.
Yeah. So I have a couple comments. I don't know if they're questions or not. There's just something as I'm sitting here listening to you. I love your story.
I know that because even it's my own experience, because before taking any action for the clients, as a coach, we have to empower at the mindset level. Yeah, definitely every coach will take that mindset as the first step, because without that mindset empowerment, they are not ready to take even that first baby step. So it's like how you work with yourself to overcome that thyroid issue. Exactly like how you work, like on which area focusing, as your niche says, gut health, right?
Dawn has some questions.
Yes, I just want to jump in because I was trying to
Sure.
get this in there and you just talked about it. I just want to point out that Swapna, Priya, I'll get my pronunciation
Priya,
right.
yes.
Priya and
Yeah.
Dawn have all hit lows. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We have all been there. We've all been at the bottom of the barrel, whether physically, mentally, whatever it is. And it's all tied together.
Mhm.
And you'll find that with most coaches and healers, that really we go on this journey because we want it. We want it for ourselves. We search for ourselves.
Yes.
We'll never search with the same abandon for anyone else other than maybe our spouse or our significant other, our children, our parents, that small group we will. But when it's us and we're dogged about finding it and trying this, trying that, and knowing, because you can see how it feels. I think you get some of the best coaches and healers because you've done the work on yourself.
Yeah.
You're not trying to prove to anybody that this stuff works because you know it does. You know the difference in your life. You're like, I know the difference in my life. And so it's really just like that in itself is something to be proud of, that you took something that was your lowest moment. And not only did you bring yourself up, but now you said, hey, I want others to feel this good. So let me share it. And that's a very generous heart and soul that can take their own misery and pain and say, but wait, there's a flip side. It's good because I suffered. Now you don't have to.
Yes.
And so that's just really just something that I think as healers and coaches and spiritual workers, and we're always like trying to do better and this and that. And I think sometimes you just got to stop for a second and go, holy cow, look at where I've come and look at what I've done, and just stand there in that. And I think part of that, standing in that power, is what will attract your clients to you, because you're not trying to tell people, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. Saying, you have to do what's good for you. I'll work with you, help you find these things that work for you, because we're all unique, and how you approach every person is unique. So I applaud both you guys for taking your own tragedies and making it into something good. And I'm going to give myself a little pat too, because I've had lots of tragedies.
No, you're absolutely true, Dawn, because when you're not trying to prove it to others, people see that, you know what, this person does not need it. This person has done the work. It's just visible. It's not something you've got to, like, just, how do I say, like, it's just visible to people. That energy is visible. People see that energy. And and yeah, it's actually like more of an awareness during my journey. Like my business logo, it also has an awareness eye, like an aware eye inside it.
Mhm.
And I think that has been the core or the center of my experience, that being aware is so much important.
Mhm.
And when you
Yeah.
are aware, you can take big steps, but you've got to open yourself up to that awareness, to being aware.
And there was something else that you had said in there. It was kind of like you had to find the space and the freedom to explore this. So while you were living in a situation that it wasn't that it was unsafe, but it was very boxed and
Like
structured, and
it
it
was
wasn't
trying
your
to fit in,
rules. Yes, you
trying
were
to fit
trying to
in.
fit in there. And so you didn't have the opportunity to explore. You had to just fit in. And
Yeah.
there's something to that, that to me really hits my heartstring on, your situation was a certain one, but that's true for a lot of people in a different kind of scenario, when we don't make the space or the time or give ourselves that area to run and play free and try this and try that. Because I'm sure your kitchen was quite a fiasco for a few months there while you were playing with different recipes and, probably got dishes in the sink and throwing things around. And, oh, I don't like that. And so that's the kind of thing you can do in your own space, but in your mother-in-law's home, oh gosh, no, we got to clean it up and we got to only don't waste the food, or, all those other society things. So to me, that points out the fact that when you work with a coach, they give you that safe space.
Yes.
That's part of it, because you could, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people can do this for themselves, whether it's the coach work that you do or the spiritual work that I do. I think a lot of people could do it for themselves, but they don't have a sacred space to do it in. They don't know how to get there, because they're here, they're there. And so just to your point, once you found your sacred space, which you had to go move out, go get your own place, then you had a place. But if you had come into contact with a coach at that point, they would have offered you that sacred space during your sessions.
Sure.
So you would come in, dump it in there and learn things, grow, try this out. So
That's what
another
I was
applause.
saying, that because we gave ourselves the space to explore and to learn, it comes naturally to us to give that space, to allow that breathing environment to our clients. And I really want them to feel that, to feel that empowerment, that okay, I have, this is my safe space, this is where I can talk, I can express, I can be vulnerable. That is the most important thing that I want my clients to be vulnerable with them, and I be vulnerable with them, because I want to share what were my lows, because that's where we create space for each other, and that's where big things happen, right?
Absolutely.
As you said, Don, like we should never like try to prove ourselves for someone.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have to, because when we are doing that, then people start judging us. Like they try to judge.
Yeah, and besides that, I think that it's also a very unsafe place for you to stay in. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to have outward recognition to know inwardly I'm doing right.
Yeah.
So I tend to not look for external validators anymore. I used to always want to people please. Oh
Yeah.
yes, can I do this for you? Can I? And no, so when I stand in my own power, I empower you, and I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just being
In my place.
authentic. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I love that you said, Priya, is that an action step,
Yeah.
because we can talk and talk and talk and tell them all the things
True.
and hand them printouts and send them emails and texts and all that. But if they don't own it, if they don't put the time and effort into it, you're going to get that same person back the next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to let your person, and as a human, I want to evolve a little bit here and there. Now, sometimes it's going to be big ones, but other times a little bit. And by you having your clients own something, That's the accountability factor. And then they have to come back in, and now they're proud and they've owned it, so it's a whole cycle of growth that you're creating with that one action. And I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what else she said, like, yeah, overcoming those difficult situations like low hemoglobin, that is not really easy. Like low
Right.
hemoglobin at 4, see, that is very, it's low level. And also another thing is giving up that hyperthyroidism and giving up medication in a natural way. That is not a big thing. Like that transformation is not easy for anyone. You need a determination for that, first of all.
Oh, absolutely. You got to put
It is
your own
not
effort.
at mind level, you need a determination and also like that commitment, accountability to yourself, as well as not giving up at any point. So yeah,
And
that is there with Priya.
yeah, and the other thing that you mentioned that I find very true is it wasn't like you weren't trying to get better. You were trying to get better, but the people that society would have you go to, because these are the proper people, they do it by the book, this and that. They were saying, take this pill, take this pill. And it was only when you came into contact with a professional that honored you, your space, your body, your wishes, and said, oh, let's see, you're doing good. Okay, let's try it again. And for me, I've had that same experience. I work with a lot of natural health people, even prior to my cancer journey, reflexologists, naturopaths, homeopaths. They're part of my regular cycle of life because they help keep me balanced. But I found a cancer doctor that was willing to listen to me and work with me. So she was more full body minded rather than these part specialists.
Mhm.
Because part specialists, no different if it's emotional or physical, it doesn't address the whole human. And
Yeah.
so I think that that also highlights the need to align with somebody that understands you, somebody that you resonate with. So if she had stayed with the other doctor, she would have kept down that path. And at 50 years old, you'd have been a miserable menopausal, whatever, all these terrible things. Woman, really very unhappy, right? Looking back at your life and the wasted time and angry about the pain. But you persevered and you found someone that respected you, your opinions. Because I got to say, nobody knows your body, your mind,
And
your
you.
emotions better than you. Sometimes we can't work through it on our own, but nobody knows you better than you. So
Yeah, that is
that's
true.
all.
No, you sought out, Dawn, you sought out to find such a person who would listen to you, like a person who looks at the body holistically as a complete system, not just one organ or one system. And I did the same. So the common thing here is we sought out and we searched for a person or a physician with that kind of approach. And that's what I want people who are listening here or who will listen to do. You have to take that initial step to you have to be willing to try to explore, to take a different path.
You got to
So
want
what
it.
is the
You got to want
no, it's like action step
Yes.
time,
Go
and
ahead.
she has to share one powerful action step for all the viewers so
So
that they will
quickly,
try it and see that visible result. And Priya, while sharing that action step, you also share the results, what all you achieved by taking that action.
okay, so it's a fun step. It's just a fun little thing that we should do every day. It's related to food. It's like my favorite aspect to healing, because I love cooking. So so this is the thing. When you look at your plate of food, when you look at your meal, make sure that it has a big amount of fiber, some kind of vegetables, then some amount of protein and a little bit of starches or carbs. And your plate should look like that. Science says that the order in which you should eat your meal is vegetables first, then the protein, and then the starches. So say your plate has broccoli, 2 eggs, and some rice or a piece of bread. then go for the broccoli first, then the egg, and then your rice. If you eat in this order, you don't have to, but if you do, trust me, your glucose levels, the spike in your glucose level will go down 70% for that day if you follow this order. Follow this order, your glucose spike is going to go down 70%, and that's a big number. And that's what we want, because most of the people these days who are eating a predominantly let's say standard American diet, and which is less, which is lots of processed chemicals and additives and processed foods. This is not providing us, this is not rich in fibers and good protein sources. So if we eat our meal in this order, this is what can happen, and it's a big number that we should be excited about. Second thing, include vinegar in your diet. If you include vinegar in your diet in a certain way, it can also bring down your glucose spike up to 30%.
So what kind of is it? What kind of vinegar?
Let's say apple cider vinegar.
Okay, everyone should note down. I think this is really mind-blowing action step. I think
and what happens when you do this, when you follow this rule of fiber first, protein then, and then starches, is you're going to have a steady energy. You're not going to feel that afternoon lethargy. You're going to have an alert mind. Your mind is not, you won't have like a foggy brain, that foggy feeling that we get. Just improve glucose levels. And since insulin resistance is a big problem in this day and age, it's a good tip to follow.
Yeah, this is really mind-blowing step, and many people are not aware of this step exactly. Like they want
it is science. This is a science-backed advice that I'm giving you. There are randomized controlled trials that have been done, and this all research is all out there if one needs to look for it on the internet.
Yeah, so everyone should note down this step and start implement this step this week. And if you get the results, very good results, then you should approach Priya to work with her for next steps.
Absolutely. And you can also, if you try this out and you've got some results at the end of the week, leave a comment on the live video. We'd love to hear about it. And that'd be a great way to do it. Tag one of us in the video, tag one of us, and we'll respond back to you. One of us will. And, we want to hear how it works for you.
So I just want to say one last thing. Well, we won't see like miraculous results in 1 week if you're coming back and sharing us your experience, but you will see will see a change in your energy levels for sure. So it's going to be some little change for sure.
So something I learned being way too involved in the medical system on my own side is they like to rate everything 0 to 10. What's your pain level today? What's your energy level? So I would just say, everybody, if you're going to try this, take a moment and stop and say, what is my energy level right here and now? What's it been the past couple days, right? And write it down in a notebook. Hold yourself accountable. Write it down, right? And then do this every day. And like Pura said, that you're not going to see it immediately, but you're going to notice little things like, oh, I didn't have afternoon candy or coffee because I didn't need it. Yeah. Right. I just had my glass of water and off I went, that kind of thing. So think about the energy. Think about where it's at today. Pick a number, 0 to 10. Where's your energy? Next week, Saturday, right here, right now, at this time and place, stop and say, yeah, I did it all week long. Let me see. Wow, I'm like an 8 this week. I don't know why I got all this extra energy. So, make a conscious effort to not only do the steps, but to also stop and reflect. What happened? How did I feel? Did this make me feel better? Just little things like that, because we want to take this fully into our hearts, our minds, our bodies, our souls, the whole thing. So just doing it, never looking back, doesn't quite do it. And I'm sure these girls coach you like that too. about, coming back, looking where you've come. But so that's my little challenge to add to your challenge for the week. Give it a number today and give it a number next Saturday too.
That's
So
awesome. That's
definitely,
perfect.
whoever is trying this, they are on the way to sign up, Priya. If you want to work with Priya, then you have to try this action step. Then next step is like signing up with her.
Well, yeah, because then you'll be like, oh my gosh, that worked so good. What else can I do? Give me another tip. Give me another tip. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
we decided to keep one action step because it's to establish a bond between the speaker, whether he or she, whether she's a coach or like, and she want to work with some client. So it's not like, instead of, this is like organic marketing or organic way of approach, like people will hold. So I want to thank Priya deep from my heart, because
Thank you so
she
much.
she came voluntarily forward, because I know I'm not a really great great speaker, but she has a trust on me and she came forward to join this live. And Priya, definitely we'll plan a live webinar
Sure.
on
Yeah.
your paid program, focusing on your paid program. I think for that we need time for the planning.
Mhm.
Even if you are doing one webinar in a thorough way, I think that recording you can use it. That doing one webinar, I think that is enough. Okay. Do you have anything to say, Dan? You said like you are, yeah, that Hono, you did
Ho'oponono prayer.
forgiveness.
So this is what I wanted to say is that, life isn't easy, right? And it can be a beautiful, wonderful thing. And you could be having the best week of your life, going along, flying along, and then someone says, does something to you, at you or something. And yeah, we're big people. We're grown-ups here. We say, yeah, okay, words don't hurt. Just let it go. But then in the back of your head, you kind of hear that, oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, I didn't do this right, or whatever it is. And so this prayer is to help you forgive yourself or forgive someone else.
Mhm.
And my mentor, my teacher gave it to us, brought it back out. It's a long time Hawaiian prayer, but she brought it up in one of my classes. And I suggested all over the place because this prayer does not require another person's participation. Okay.
Okay.
You are just doing it with yourself. So you can forgive yourself for past actions. Maybe you didn't do the right thing. Maybe your heart wasn't the way you wanted it. Maybe you said unkind words, thought unkind things. We're all human. It happens.
Yeah.
I've had my share of run-ins and that, I'd like to say, oh, I fly high all the time, but no, I mean, I'm human. So this prayer helps you to release. And anybody that's working on the body, on the energy, on the mind knows that a lot of stuff is stuck emotions, old energy that just clogs up our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our souls. So this prayer is a sacred container for you to release it into. And you can look it up, and I'm probably killing the words, like the saying Ho'oponono. I'm sure I apologize to anyone of Hawaiian descent. Please pronounce it for me so I can learn it. But it's a
Can you
really,
repeat once again?
I go too fast.
Can
I
you
know it.
repeat that? Ho'oponono.
Ho'oponono, Hopano,
Ho'oponono.
I think if you
Ho,
just look it up,
have a
something's going to come up.
pronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a pronunciation. They always even have those, where you can press it and it'll say it out loud to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But
But
I heard about it from one psychologist.
uh-huh.
Yeah, she was doing only this one, this mainly.
Okay,
She was focusing on this.
perfect. So basically, it's a 3-step process. It's
Okay.
I am sorry. Okay, so when you feel guilt, okay, so you're going to kind of center yourself And then you're going to imagine the situation or the person or the whatever it is, or what you did, right? You're just going to imagine that scene. And you're going to say, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you're going to repeat it. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you could say this multiple times in a sitting, multiple times through the day. But notice that as you say this over and over, that feeling starts to wane. We'll use the numbers. It goes from a 10 down to an 8, down to a 6. And then finally, you get it all the way down. And then for me, what I like to do is I like to do release out of it and transmute it to love. So I take those old negative energies and I send it back out as love. Ground into the ground, however you do it, connect to divine, however you do it, but you're sending it back out to love and you're letting it go. So when you towards self, they're saying that you say, I am sorry. I forgive myself. Thank you for this lesson. I love you. I release you. So I'll type it up, but basically there's four words. I'm sorry.
Forgive
Forgiveness.
me.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
sorry. So these are the keys. I'm sorry. Forgiveness. Thank you. And I love you. And I actually have another version of it, but so just try that for the next week too. Just see. So when someone, says something and you feel like you were like you didn't perform for them, you want to grab that emotion and release it. Whatever it is, grab the emotion, sit with it, release it. Just remember, you can forgive a person that's already passed. Sometimes that's the hardest guilt, right? Maybe you need to ask for forgiveness from someone that passed, like I wish I would have spent more time with my grandmother, my great grandmother, but I was 20, she wasn't very interesting. She was 90. I didn't know how interesting she was, So sometimes I'm sorry that I didn't have the wisdom at the time to know that she had gifts to give, whatever it is. You can use this and modify it. Look it up online. We'll post a version. I've got this one I printed out. We'll post it on your page, Swapna, and I'll post it in the Soul Joy page so you can look at it. But
Definitely.
it's like a 3-minute thing.
To quickly add to what you just shared, this prayer, Dawn, as we all know that everything is energy. So this prayer basically is like chanting. We're chanting these 4 sentences over and over again. And we say certain things, it materializes. We say certain things over and over again, that energy persists. And so that gives us a feeling of, I forgive myself, I'm sorry. And that is a very relieving feeling. And because me and Swapna are from, we are Indians, we have an Indian background, we have something called mantras, chanting mantras. When you chant mantras, they have energy, they have positive energy. So when you chant them over and over again, it cleanses your house, it cleanses your body. And that's exactly this prayer is, this is the same thing.
It's a chant. Yeah, it is. It's a mantra.
Yeah.
Mantra chant. Yes. Very good.
Yeah, every word is a mantra, right? Every word is a mantra.
Well, words are very powerful.
Oh.
Good and bad, right? They're very powerful. As my daughter told me once, words hurt.
Yeah.
But, I came from the generation where they said sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. That was my generation. That's how they raised us. Words can't hurt you. And then come to find out, words do hurt people, right? They hurt you deep down. So yes, I think you guys are so blessed to have that background to know
Yeah.
the mantras, because I've only been introduced with them maybe in the last 5-10 years of my life, and they're just amazing. The energy you can generate,
Yeah.
the dreams that you can make happen through it. So
Yeah.
beautiful.
It was lovely. Thank you, Dawn and Swapna.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having me. And I love this beautiful interaction that we had and learning things from you guys.
Thank you, Priya, for joining.
And thank you both for sharing your
Thank you, Don.
stories. Thank you. Yes,
You are my
I'm enjoying
accountability
this.
for doing this live. I want to thank you once again because you are the one for me, like
I'm
to
her
move forward.
accountability. Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
keeping me moving. She's keeping me trying new stuff. And then I got one more little quick thing you guys could try this week. This is a fun one because the other stuff was kind of work, right? You got to pay attention to your food. We want you to forgive yourself. It's a fun one. Okay. So everybody has an inner child. Okay.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
think about the things that made you happy that you liked to do when you were 6 years old, 8 years old, whatever it is in there, before society told you that's not good. That's not, before we got all those voices in our head. Spend a couple minutes and journal things you used to like to do as a child. And then pick one of them and try to make a little spot for you to do it again. Okay. Have some fun this week. And just see how that changes your energy for the week. Okay. So just a few minutes, like for me, I used to like skipping. So on my morning walk, I go on the one back road every now and then and I skip. It hurts a little bit after a while, I won't lie, but it's one of those things that makes me smile. Whatever it is, drawing when you're a little kid and you just sit there and aimlessly draw just because you want to, just because you can. Whatever it is, do it. Just empower yourself. Give yourself permission to have fun because life's not supposed to be hard.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's fun. This is supposed to be
we
a
should not.
beautiful journey. So
We should never take the life as serious. Seriously, we should not take the life seriously.
and I think, that's when we get stuck into patterns and stuff
Yeah.
too. So sometimes we got to find that inner joy a little bit and then go, oh yeah, I do know how to have fun. I don't have to be responsible all the time.
Like when we are doing some mistake, at that moment we feel, oh, I did this. So after some years, when we are looking back those mistakes, like we like start laughing. Oh, I did this.
Right now it's funny because it's helped you get to where you're at. But yes, very nice. I love both of your energy. It's such a pleasure to be surrounded by such a beautiful community. Really, this is a great community. Everybody should take full advantage of it. Network with each other, network,
definitely.
Use it for what it's there for and help to grow it too. Share it. We want to get to 500 in the next 30 days. No, maybe not that much. But
We need some.
I gave her a goal now. Watch out.
Yeah, we need a goal, definitely. And the time limit.
So,
yeah.
Well, thank you for allowing me in here with you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And that's it. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.